Welcome back to another episode of the Next Level Minds podcast. If this is your first time tuning in, then my name is Chris Chapman and I am your host. And this is a podcast that's really dedicated to those who want to reach a next level in their business, personal, or career life. Every other week, I'm blessed to sit down with a fully qualified guest, entrepreneur, content creator, or mover and shaker in their industry and really walk through their story of how they have gotten from point A to point B and overcame various adversities along the way. Now, before we dive into this week's episode, which is really part of a series I like to call Motivation Monday, where I chat about just different topics that really inspire me and with the goal of wanting to inspire the listeners out there. So before we dive into this week's episode, as always, just wanted to go ahead and reiterate the main goal of this show, which is to impact over 1 million people. So if you have not done this already, definitely subscribe to Next Level Minds and share this episode with a family member, friend, or colleague who you really think will get some value out of it. And again, if you're really feeling special, please leave a review on Apple Podcast of the Next Level Minds and let me know what you think. Other than that, diving into this week's Motivation Monday episode, it's really about the topic of the importance of surrounding yourself with the right people in your life. You hear this all the time that, you really are who you surround yourself with. So I really want to break that down in a bit more detail today and really go into ways that you can surround yourself with the right people and really steps that you can take to implement so that you make sure that you're hanging out with winners. So before I go through that, though, I really want to start off with a story here. So when I was 8 years old, I picked up the habit of surfing. And I'd never really surfed before. Obviously, growing up in Charleston, I'd seen people do it. And I was really excited to start. So first time I went out there and tried to surf it didn't work well at all. I fell. I didn't know how to paddle past the waves. I didn't know how to stand up. It was just me throwing myself in there and trying to really make it happen. But eventually, I started going to the beach and seeing some guys that were older than me that definitely knew what they were doing. And, they were friends through the church that I went through. So, I knew them. They were obviously older than me. But it was, hey, I want to go out there with y'all and learn. So I threw myself back in there and was surrounded for multiple days in a row with people who had been surfing 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 years. And eventually, as the days progressed, I picked up surfing extremely fast, very quickly. And at the time, I just thought, I got surfing down. I'm good. This is awesome. But really looking back at that story now with the experience I have in life, I see that one of the reasons why I learned that skill of surfing so fast was because I surrounded myself for multiple days in a row with people that have really achieved the goal that I wanted at the time at 8 years old, which was to learn how to surf and actually be good at it. So I think some lessons within this story is if you want to learn something quickly, whether that's building a business, advancing in your career, advancing in your financial life when it comes to investing, real estate, you name it. If you want to learn something quickly, number one, it's important to jump in there and take action because action sometimes is the hardest step to take. Going from that 0 to 1 is sometimes the hardest step you will take in learning something or doing something new. So that's the first part of it. But the second part is to make sure when you jump into a new skill or just a new trade or a new area of your business or just a new business that you're surrounding yourself with people that have done it before. You obviously can learn on your own. I mean, look at how much resources are out there, books, podcasts, videos, whole 9 yards. But you can learn so much quicker when you jump into it, surrounding yourself with the people who have actually done it. So wanted to touch on that story and really how you can implement that into your life is, as I just mentioned, surrounding yourself with the right people that have done something that you want to do. And another point I want to touch on here is that it's so hard to just get caught up in kind of your inner circle and not really taking the time to implement that strong wolf pack, if you will, into your life. So I think it's important when you are surrounding yourself with people to really do kind of a self-awareness check of, hey, are the people that I'm with daily, are those people that are holding me back, or are those people that are driving me forward? And I think the more time that you can spend with the people that are driving you forward, the further advancement you will have, because again, you are who you hang around. So if you're hanging out with people that have, reached massive levels of success financially, in their career, in their business, in their physical life, in their personal life, then you're ultimately going to turn into those people that you hang around. So why not hang out with those winners that are obviously achieving things that you want? So another important reason to do this is, if you're not where you are right now, I think the first thing that you can ask yourself is, who am I surrounding myself with? So for me, if I'm not where I want to be in my business, I'm asking myself, am I surrounding myself with other like-minded founders, entrepreneurs, people who have done it before? And if the answer is no, then there comes some reevaluation there to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to start surrounding myself with this guy or this girl or this person that can help me reach to that next level. So I think a question, if you're not where you want to be, is asking yourself, okay, who am I spending most of my time with? And if those people are not people that are driving you forward, then you definitely need to kind of reevaluate your situation there. Another thing I also wanted to touch on is, we live in the digital era, as so many people call it. So let's say your inner circle is not as strong as you would like. And, it's hard. You don't want just want to drop people just because they're not, successful. So you don't want to just have no friends or no inner circle. So something that you can also do, obviously being in this digital era, is surrounding yourself with the right people through listening to the proper podcasts, reading the right books, watching interviews from people who have done what you want to do, and just surrounding yourself with kind of this landscape we're in. I mean, you can choose who you follow on Instagram. You can choose what videos you watch on YouTube. You can choose what you watch on TV. You can choose what podcast you listen to. So for me, I like to have like a folder of people that I listen to. I mean, I watch interviews from Elon Musk, from Jeff Bezos, from some famous athletes out there as well, on really like grit, work ethic, determination, what they really did to build their business or career early on in their life. And I surround myself with those people, obviously digitally. I'm not going to Elon Musk's house and just gabbing a beer with him and talking business, but I am watching, interviews on him, or I am reading articles on him, or I am obviously looking at like how he was raised, maybe what are some things that he did at my age in my life that I can implement right now. So I think it's also important to do a self-audit and say, you know what? First off, who am I surrounding myself with? Are they people that are driving me forward in my life, or are they people that are holding me back? So that's a big question to ask yourself. And then the second question you can really ask yourself is, those sources that I'm listening to via YouTube video, podcast, articles, you name it, are those sources driving me forward? Am I surrounding myself with a circle of influence digitally through those platforms that are going to drive me to the next level? So that's super important. And another main point I also really wanted to touch on, going back to just surrounding yourself with people that have done it before, is if you surround yourself with someone that's 1, 2, 3, 5 years ahead of where you want to be, those people have done it before, and they'll show you, if you do X, you will get Y. So I think success is obviously a combination of a number of different things, but one of the main things of success is a formula of just consistently doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. So I think those people that you surround yourself with that are ahead of you are going to show you, hey, listen, if you do these 3 to 5 things consistently for the next 5 years, you will be exactly where I am right now, if not more. Because the worst is putting in all of that work, but you're not focusing on the right things. I heard a podcast the other day, and he said, hey, you can hit a tree 1,000 times with an axe and try to knock it down. But if you're hitting in 1,000 different places 1,000 times, nothing's going to happen. But if you consistently hit the tree in the same spot day after day after day in the same spot, that tree will eventually fall down. And I think that's a great comparison. If you're consistently doing the right things that are going to drive you forward day after day after day after day, you will ultimately get the results that you want. So I think surrounding yourself with the proper circle that are going to say, hey, listen, these 5 things that you're doing, drop 2 of those. That's not going to bring you forward, but these 3 are, so hone in on those and keep doing it day after day after day. So again, just to summarize here, surround yourself with the right people. Super important. You are who you hang around. I like to have 5 to 7 powerful people within my inner circle that are going to help drive me forward. These are people that I can come to with problems, with solutions. These are people that I can chop it up with and talk business and help each other out. And then I like to surround myself with the proper people digitally through podcasts, books, interviews, and learn from people that I admire. Those 2 combinations, surrounding yourself with the right people and surrounding yourself with the right resources, are going to drive your success forward more than you will realize. So main lesson here, watch who you're hanging around and surround yourself with a strong circle of influence.